Good day, everyone. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Hope you guys had a lovely and great weekend. So let's do a quick market review for what we're expecting next week on GBPUSD, EURUSD, gold, and NAS. Yeah, these are the four instruments I'll be focusing on this week. And let's get into it. So this is GBPUSD, and as you can see, this is GBPUSD futures. Right. As you all know, I do my analysis on GPUSD futures chart. Why? It's because futures chart is more accurate and it's more centralized than the forex chart, than the CFD. I execute on the CFD's chart, but I make sure I do my analysis on the futures chart. So this is the daily time frame, and as you can see, GPUSD has been bearish. That we on the daily time frame swing structure, we have been clearly bearish. We've been putting in lower lows, lower highs, and we've had a new confirmed lower low. Now, after a break of structure, we expect a pullback. And as you can see, we have a swing break of structure here, right? This is swing break of structure. After a break of structure, you see a pullback. So how do we anticipate that pullback? We had a daily internal structure shift, right? Which is more of like a substructure shift, a daily change of character, right? Telling us the pullback has, started. Right, so as you can see, we have, this inside bar, we had this low, and we created a new high, right? After that, we put in internal structure low, and we had another new high, right? And last week, we broke structure to the downside, right? Now, after we broke structure to the downside, I was expecting, price from this area, if price could possibly come to take out a new high. But don't forget that structurally, swing structure, we are bearish. This is the last low, right? This is the last break of structure. And for the substructure shift to confirm, right, a shift of structure, right, I was seeing this as a potential sweep for higher prices. Well, after I did my weekend review, I found out that, okay, we are reacting off this area of imbalance, right? You could see this. This is a full area of imbalance, right? Both side, right? And price has tapped into it. So I was seeing this as, price should get a reaction and we should put in a new high so we can have a deeper pullback of the swing range. But with what I'm seeing in price, actually, I don't really think price is going to make a new high. In fact, the swing structure is bearish, right? And the internal structure has now shifted bearish, right? Internal structure have now shifted bearish, so it means it's now aligned with the overall swing structure. Although we are still in a very discounted area of the zone, but again, we are just overly bearish, so we could continue seeing more shots to the downside for price to pull what? Come create a new low. So next week, I'm actually very, very bearish, right? I'm bearish personally, and I would be expecting price to actually come and make this low a new low. And that doesn't mean that price cannot, come and make a new high. But again, this is where, you don't have to be predictive, you just have to be reactive. So going on Monday, I would love to see how the market presents itself, but I am more to the downside. Like I am expecting price to create a more low. Like that is more of my expectation. But again, I'll be reactive and not predictive. So that's that on GBPUSD. Right. So let's go to Euro USD. Right. So this is Euro USD, and as you can see, this is the, let me take this away. This is the Euro futures chart, right? And as you can see, this is the daily time frame. So first of all, what can we say? We understand that we are bullish. Swing structurally, we have the last break of structure to the upside. We've been bullish, right? And I remembered I talked about SMT divergence, which is not something I really use, but I explained why I was expecting this low on Euro USD to get taken, right? Because Euro USD created a high and GU fails to create a high, and but that's another topic. I think I'll make a video about that on how I use it, just for confluence. But I'm expecting Euro USD to take this low, meaning I'm expecting a swing break of structure to the downside. Now, as you can see, the internal structure has been bearish, meaning it has been following the bearish order flow, right? Bearish order flow, you could see is mitigation. This is the last area that price mitigated, right? Let me draw out this last area of supply, right? This is the last area that price mitigated from. And don't forget the expectation is for price to create a new swing low, right? And the internal structure has been bearish. Like, look at price. We have been having a full-time bearish order flow, right? Full bearish order flow, right? If we can follow up, follow up, follow up, follow through to the downside. So yeah, so what's my expectation for next week? On Friday, on Thursday, sorry, I was thinking if you could get a pullback from this area, but I also understand that swing structurally, we are bullish, but we want price to take this low. Now, in internal structure, you could see that price has been creating lower lows and lower highs and trying to long the market against against the internal structure and this bearish order flow is not something that is really great. So on Friday, you could see that what the price do, price swept the previous daily high, right? And you have to understand that previous daily high, previous weekly high, previous monthly high are time-based area of liquidity. So price took out previous daily high and also reacted to this area of imbalance. So what's price telling us? It's telling us that I really, 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 really have a strong a strong rejection from me going up, meaning I want to continue bearish. And don't forget that we are fully bearish internally. So for price to take the previous daily high and dump to the downside, right? It means now price is ready to go making a new low. And if price should making a new internal low, then price is obviously coming to make a new low, a new swing low. Now, here's the thing. Let me do this. So but I would again really don't need to be predictive, like we need to be reactive. Now, for me to start looking for long on EURUSD, right, I need to see this previous daily high get rated, right? Now, this is something I would love to see. If this previous daily high doesn't get rated, I assume we are going to continue to the downside, meaning we are likely to take out this low, and then we are going to go take out this low, right? So let me go to 4-hour time frame because it feels like I'm just doing the analysis on the daily time frame. So this is the 4-hour time frame. Don't forget 4-hour time frame, right? This is the swing structure, right? So we have, let me zoom out. We have this as the swing guy, the swing low, we have the swing guy, and these are the internal structures to the downside. So the swing structure is bullish, but we're expecting price to create a new swing low, right? That is to break structure to the downside. Since we're anticipating that the internal structure is bearish, we have this low, we have this high. All these are just substructure shifts inside the internal structures, right? Internal structure. So we have the internal structure low, after a break of structure, we expect a pullback, right? We had the break of structure, which is more of like okay, the pullback have started. And then we reacted to this area of supply. Then after that, we had this bearish, substructure shift. I remember if I'm a free Telegram, I'm going to post the link in the description of this video. I gave the signal, the analysis, that we're expecting shots from this eye. Although this was my target, right? So I didn't know that price was really going to extend lower, but yeah, I gave the analysis from this top that that we're going to really start looking for sales, right? So yeah, so this is for our time frame. You could see we had a bullish change of character here, but then the other day price came to raid the previous daily high and it dumps to the downside. So more like I don't really think the bullish order flow is going to continue. Now before I can anticipate any bullish order flow, I am just bearish. I really just want to sell. But for me to start, like okay, I want to switch bullish, I need to see price taking out this eye first. And I don't really think it's really going to happen. But again, don't forget, we don't really want to be predictive, we want to be reactive. So I am bearish on EURUSD and I want price to not only take out this internal structure low, I want price to take out this swing low. But at the same time, if this eye gets violated, then it means we really want to, pull back because I am seeing this eye as it is available, that price might take this eye, then tap into this extreme of this supply. That was my analysis. So meaning the pullback we had from this area, it was more of like, I was just seeing it as what an internal structure pullback for us to continue, to raise this high, tap into this area of supply, the extreme, and continue bearish to the downside. But again, this supply seems pretty strong and it caused this reaction and there is no reason for us to start looking for buys now because of this field reaction. So I will be very careful. Before I start looking for longs, I need to make sure this substructure eyes get taken. Then if it gets taken, then I can now follow. But for now, I am bearish. So depending on how the markets open and what it presents, right? But my bias for the whole week, next week is to the downside, right? So yeah, let's go to gold. Let me go to gold. Sorry about my network being slow. So gold is actually very interesting. And if you're in my free Telegram channel, again, the link is gonna be in the bio. My moves on gold has been really, really sweet, right? Meaning no, sorry, don't know. Meaning I have likely called every swing structure range on gold. Right now, from this top, I explained why I was looking for sales from this top in the free Telegram. Again, the link is going to be in the bio, and price has sold. And I also explained why I was looking for sales from this high to continue to create a new low, which price hasn't made the target, and not only that, for also price to take out this low. So if you can see clearly, I remember I took a short sell from this high, and I think I closed around 5%, 5 hours something. But yeah, so my expectation for gold for next week is just very simple. I want this low to get rejected because we've taken out this high. I was seeing, this is overall, let's look, the swing structure is bullish, right? The swing structure is still bullish, right? But these are just internal structure. Right, these are just internal structure. So we have internal structure shifted bearish, and then you can see we had the low, we had the high, we had the internal structure low, then we had the break of structure to the upside. Now, I didn't see this break of structure as a break, as instead I saw it, as um sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my PC. So instead, I saw this break of structure as I didn't see it as what we're going to expect price to continue. I see it as a liquidity sweep, and I'm expecting this low to get taken. So meaning that um then we created this internal substructure shift, and then price swept this structure high, still more sales. Because you have to understand that if price is bearish, right, it needs liquidity. So when price creates a low, most times these major highs are always area of liquidity, and if price takes it, it means it has taken a major liquidity. And most times, if price continues bearish, it means price wants to. It means the liquidity has been taken out this high, and price is creating a new low. So this means after price created a low, created a high, a low, price created another high. Now a lot of people are like buying, trying to buy, and it serves what as a trap. This is structured trap, right? And price creates a new low. So you have to be careful, right? In scenarios like this, right? So that is what we had on good. And so I'm bearish. I want price to take out this low. I want price to take out this low. And with that, my bias is still to the downside. This is my target. And also, you could see that this is the substructure because you have to understand we have the swing structure, the internal structure, and then the substructure. So the substructure are those structures inside this range, inside the internal structure range, right? So the substructure, we had the substructure sweep, and I'm expecting more short to the downside. So going on next week, what am I really seeing? I will not lie. I'm actually expecting this eye to get ready on Friday, so I could look for sales from this extreme of this range. Let me go to 15 minutes, so it's gonna be clear. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me clear this off. These were the sales I took on good, and I remember I closed about 4 hour. Yeah, I closed about 4 hour around there. And then so these buys, right? Because you have to understand the structure. So we have this lower low, we have this lower high, we have this lower low. Now the reversal we're seeing this low and this low. I wasn't really interested because I was bearish, so I was waiting for price to reach this high. Because again, structures I structural highs are area of liquidity, old highs are area of liquidity. So I was waiting for this high to get rid before I look for sales, which on Friday price became close, but thanks to the downside. So I would love to see how the market is gonna open. I would love to see how the markets open next week, but I'm still bearish to the downside. So I would love to see how the markets open, and Monday is gonna put me. Monday is going to allow me to understand how I'm going to be positioning myself for the week. But yeah, I am bearish, and I want price to reach this low, and also this low, right? This low. So yeah, that's for gold. So let's go to NAS. Let's go to NAS, or let's go to NASDAQ. I've been trading NASDAQ for a while. It's just a pair I've added to. my watch list. Sorry, my network is really, really bad. I don't really understand why my network is moving like this. So NAS has been interesting. In fact, last week NAS gave me most money, NAS and gold. The gold shots I took and NAS, it really gave me a very, very, very good profit right last week. I was trying to sell NAS here too, and I missed out on the trade because it was too fast. Price never gave me an entry, right? So you know, so basically, what's my expectation on NAS? So on NAS, firstly, let's start with the normal structure. So we are bullish. So we had a recent break of structure here. Now, after a break of structure, we expect a pullback. Right now, the pullback has started because we've had an internal structure shift. Sorry, not internal, a substructure shift, which is we can call that a 4 hour change of character, right? Don't forget, this is the swing low, a higher high, a swing high, then price created a swing low. After a break of structure, we expect a pullback. We've had a pullback, and I would love to, see price, um, I'd love to see price come into this area, right? To continue the bullish move to the upside, right? Now, not only that, right? According to my fundamental analysis, I'm not really expecting NASDAQ to continue selling. In fact, if we could get a reaction from this area, right, this area of demand, and we could see a follow through to the upside, I'm actually expecting NASDAQ to make a new high. But that is not what we should be focusing on now because I'm not really gonna be holding a trade long that much to this high or something. But I'm just aware that we have come into a very, very delicate area, a very, very key level, a very, very strong area, right? If I go on the monthly, right, let me go to the monthly. If you're using the time-based liquidity, this is the monthly time frame, and as you could see, it's more as if we have swept the previous monthly low and we've tapped into this area of imbalance. So, and this is also something like, a short-term demand area. So it's more of like we could, continue seeing a very strong bias to the upside, right? And based on the fact that on my 4 hour too, on the 4 hour structure, I can see that because don't forget what I told you guys. The areas of liquidity, we have the previous monthly high, which are time-based, previous weekly high, previous daily high. Also, structural liquidity, we have the swing highs, the internal structures highs, and old highs. So you have to understand that when price take this area, right, and based on my other confidences, I actually saw what a solid reason for price to go make a new high. Now, not just that doesn't mean I'll take a buy and I'll be targeting this high. No, I'll follow up because I'm more of an intraday trader. But the thing is, once I, understand the long-term bias, it allows me to position myself in that direction over time than, trying to like just guess, what price is doing. So for NASDAQ, I'm pretty bullish. And on Friday, I could have get in the long, but I just, I chilled out, right? I chilled out on the long. So I was like, on Monday, I was going to follow up, right? So this is 4 hour time frame. So, after a break of structure, we have a 4 hour change of character, which is a 4 hour substructure shift. So I'm expecting a reaction from this area of demand, right, to continue for continuation to the upside, and I'm going to position myself for the rest of the week. So yeah, that's that. I hope you guys learned one or two from this video. I'm gonna be uploading videos like this on my YouTube midweek and normal week calls, and then trade breakdowns of how I actually enter my trades. You are gonna see how I take my trades. In fact, if you are smart enough, you're gonna understand how you're gonna understand my trading plan, and you are going to be able to get it for free. So make sure you subscribe and make sure you not only subscribe, turn on notification, right, so that you can see my videos, right? Also, if you're not in the free Telegram, the link is gonna be in the bio, right? The link is gonna be in the description below, so you can get in there because I give out free trades there. Also, I'm more active, on Telegram because it's easier, right? And also make sure you follow me across all my social media. So yeah, let's have a great week, everyone. Yeah, peace out.